everyone, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. This is episode 27. Last time we went back to Denerim. We had some stuff to do there. It turned out it was enough to get a full episode out of it. And then we had a couple of things to do back in Orzammar. So we're starting this episode off heading to Shale's lost Thaig area in the Deep Roads. So we've got our group. We're going to proceed, and we will check it out. So I'm actually quite excited to see this. So this will be Cadash Thaig. Shale has dim memories of a bustling dwarven Thaig nestled somewhere amongst the Deep Roads. Let's go. So we're going to get some more Shale backstory and character development, and we're taking a couple of new characters to the Deep Roads for the first time. So we're going to have Alistair and Morrigan stay in the party with us as well. Okay. Here we are. We don't have a healer, but we are essentially relying on just absolute debilitation on Morrigan's side, and then our healing potions to heal. So, we'll see how that goes, won't we? We don't know. There's going to be a lot of darkspawn, and we can only do our best. We can only do our very best. At least for the most part, we know that when we have like long range people, we know that Morrigan can just deal with those straight away. So we can at least stop them from being a hassle. Huh. And then the Shriek started attacking one of them. The Shriek's attacking both of them. That's so funny. That's great. Having the Shrieks be like, what the hell, is quite hilarious to me, actually. Alright, so if they're all in that one spot, we might be able to get away with this. Oh, I think that's out of range, which means let's have Morrigan move up here. Now try it again. Nice. This one genlock has survived. And that's for Dex to take out. Nice. We must gain the advantage. Something else that I do need and am going to do as well, which I will probably just off-screen run through everything, is I've kind of forgotten that Dex has the ability to go and find anything interesting. So we've been in a lot of new locations, and I've literally just forgotten that it's a thing that we can do. So I'm not sure if there are any timed items or whether or not it's just if you're in the area, do it. So I'm probably going to find time to go back through previously explored areas and just ask him if he's found anything, and then share with you my results and see if he finds anything. For example, Dex has brought us a tattered old book. Some of the pages have been chewed. A very chewed and moist book. So there you go. You can get codex entries, which is nice. So I will try and remember that, keep that in mind as I'll go through older areas and see if we get anything cool. Much of this is illegible. Day 42. I begin to suspect that we are being manipulated, as if by some unseen hand far above us. Always I hear the sound of clicking. Click, 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 click. Several pages are missing, and much of the ink on the remaining page has run together. And then told them I wouldn't take any cheese unless it came directly from the revered mother's hand. Mud or something similar has soaked into the pages here. My mother told me I was special. I never knew how right she was. The ink is smeared horribly. It was Osiris, I swear it. It looked just like the carving in the Owl's drawing room. I sent it to the circle to verify, but I haven't heard from a very chewed and moist book. Now, Osiris, I believe, is a weapon that we have on either Sten. I think Sten has Osiris, potentially Ogren at the moment. I think that's the name of the weapon, right? Might have to read that item description and see what that's actually all about.
It speaks.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to have anything to say about the fact that we're in your area.
It doesn't have better things.
But,
On then.
but no. But no, it does not. This is pretty.
This is it. Cadash Thaig.
This is where you're from.
Perhaps. It may also be where I was found. These ruins are always overrun by vermin. There may be something noteworthy further in, however.
Okay. Okay.
Was this the home once? Did I live here?
I like the overgrown green element to it, which is quite cool. Trying to predict the range of movement on these enemies here. I think we've just... Oh, that's fine. You cancelled your... You cancelled it anyway. Let's do that instead. Of course they're running away, and of course we've got more things to deal with. Okay, let's have a look. You might be too far away for this, so let's get you over here. That Bronto's doing nothing, which is actually kind of great, I guess. Sure. Let's just have it continue to do nothing. God. Bronto's going straight for Morrigan instead.
Fine.
Very well. Shall be done.
Nice job, team. I wonder how big this area will actually end up being, though. That's the real question. But yeah, I really like it. It's a beautiful location. I mean, it's all abandoned shit, but like, I like the overgrowth element to it. It's got some green, which I feel was missing in the other Thaigs. Surprise, surprise, it's overrun with Darkspawn.
I am ready.
I'm trapped. I am trapped.
Oh, this should be good. I shall do it.
Shall be done. Away with you.
Let's end this.
Now you fall. Shall be done.
I detected a trap, but I'm not sure where.
Now we get our hands dirty.
You will squish satisfyingly beneath my foot.
Very well.
Blood-gorged amulet. Blood weeps endlessly from the crusted seams of this rotten thing, staining your chest a gory red. Plus 12 constitution, but minus 3 strength and willpower. A brilliant natural crystal. Cool. What tier is brilliant? We've got flawless. No, brilliant is better than flawless, interestingly enough. Isn't that kind of weird? You'd think flawless would be like the top tier. However, no. Now you are green. How's that?
You would like something?
You would like something? So we're gonna get some good gear for Shale in here, I would assume. Of the brilliant variety. Like, what's above flawless, guys? I mean, it literally has no flaws. It's kind of like the perfect thing, right? But it doesn't beat brilliant, does it? Okay, autosave.
Whatever was once here,
Oh.
there is gone.
Ooh, and we got deep stalkers here that are taking out their they're also going for the dark spawn. If you could, Morrigan, just give me some time, will ya? Let's do sleepy time. Oh, it's got such a range on it. Put the ones that we're not focusing on to sleep. I just like the ability of having sleep just be like this temporary, just like pause on enemies that we're not even paying attention to. It's good. Shale is Shale. You'd think Shale would kind of be immune to traps like that, but that's funny.
I am armed.
Cross me and you shall
Very well. It's a trap. End this. Get to the good part. Fine thing we've done.
Nice. I just kind of wish that there was like a click and drag loot all option sometimes instead of just like the manual looting of everything and anything on the battlefield. Let me have like a automatic loot all situation. A dark sport mace. Yeah, Shale getting her leg in a bear trap is kind of funny. This is a minor inconvenience for me. Can someone get me out of this, please?
Look there, a cunning trap.
You mean the one that was already activated? Where are they going? What are they doing? Those deep stalkers got a job to do. They're just living their lives. I'm coming here to mess with it. Oh, hello. They're like, haha, surprise, you never saw us coming. Alistair, you're floating. Oh, there's another wave.
direct me.
Very well.
Nice. Deep Stalker leader. Didn't even notice there was a leader. Because it's so chaotic. There's just so many enemies on screen that you could just like wildly swinging and swinging. Okay.
Crawling with
say.
filth. Typical.
Well, it is the Darkspawn. Oi! The Darkspawn have moved in.
As you wish.
Where are you going, buddy? You going for this guy? Why aren't you going for this guy?
Run while you can.
Right then. I am armed.
I do miss having a nice little amount of stamina regen, though. That was nice. Like Win just being like, I'll support you guys no matter what.
I shall do it.
We don't really have that anymore.
You will be sorry. It will hurt.
Shall be done.
Take that.
I do quite like that the Darkspawn have their own rogue class. It's kind of cool.
It has begun.
It's a bit frame droppy. Down. Whoa, it's a bit frame droppy down here.
Run while you can.
Fight for honor.
Fighting like a true rogue right now.
Too easy. I cannot be defeated.
Okay, Morrigan. I cannot be defeated. Something I need to do with my team is their approval rating is pretty, you know, warm with some people as well, but and it's pretty decent. But I think I need to put some work in on some of them as well, because like obviously with how all the party members have worked over the course of the game, it's very clear that, you know, because we did it with Stan and Zev, once your approval hits a certain amount, they engage with you differently and they talk to you differently, and there's like new dialogue quests and whatever. So I feel like we're getting to a point with certain characters that we've had in our party for a while, like Morrigan and Alistair and stuff, that we'll probably like just start giving gifts to bump their approval up like a little bit more and get some more out of those older characters. I think that's a good idea, so we're not missing out on any potential content there. I'm not sure what's going on, whether this is just like the game itself, but I'm getting some weird frame drops in this place.
Right then. Send me.
Like being able to switch Shale
It is
at
begun.
some point into like
It shall be
big
done.
attack mode when she's surrounded. I also wonder if Dog can find interesting things like multiple times or not, or whether it's just like one thing per like area. I always looked at this angle. He has not found anything. Disappointed. This is really like kind of beautiful though. I really like this. Love the plants growing in that one sunspot.
Find here.
It's been like properly wrecked though. Like the way that all of this stuff has been like rearranged. Oh, hello. That ogre was on just his daily stroll, dude. That ogre was just like, oh man, just another day in Cadash Thaig. Look at the green. That guy's living his life. You know, this is literally Shrek in Dragon Age right now. What are you doing in my Thaig? And we're just gonna go wipe him out. He was having just the nicest day.
As you say.
Oh, and we've got shrieks too. Oh, just the one. Just the one. Oh. my character paralyzed him with the sword because then then Morrigan casted paralyze and it looks like it just cancelled it out. Was paralyzed and then no longer paralyzed. Is that what just happened? It seems like that was the case. Try and tie that shriek.
Just die already!
Yes, my character is death blowing the ogre. Let's go.
Our skill has won the day.
Nice.
It shall be done.
Cadash Stompers. The crest of House Cadash still lingers, pressed deep into the hardened leather of these well-worn boots. 22 strength, 2 dex, 2 armor. Ranged critical, melee critical, and increases hostility. And a brilliant spirit crystal. Spirit plus 50 spirit resistance. Wow. And a remarkable ruby. Is it Shale that likes the gems as well as gifts? Dead Thaig Shanker. As the great dwarven Thaigs fell one by one, some dwarves lingered on in hiding, preying on the darkspawn in the shadows of their former homes. Plus 5 cunning, plus 6 attack, interrupts spellcasting. Oh my god. So I can just run up to a mage with this dagger and just stab him and interrupt their spellcasting. Still probably gonna not be the best way to interrupt spellcasting, but that's great. And a brilliant lightning crystal. Alright, Shale, let's take a look at you. Okay, so brilliant. So we're currently rocking a flawless spirit crystal. So we're doing 22.5 spirit damage, armor penetration, plus 2 to all attributes. But this gives us dexterity and attack, so the chance to hit is just tremendous. Gosh damn. And then we also now have a brilliant spirit crystal. Nature or spirit resistance? Well, let's keep nature for now. Oh, nice. And there are these are also more crystals too. So brilliant. God, we're spoiled for choice here, Shale. I can sell everything that is worse than brilliant now. We can just get rid of it. It's good, jolly good shoe. Alright, so we've got the Golem Monument, which is the main quest item here.
What is this? This I remember. It has dates and names. This is to honor those who volunteered, those who became golems. And there is my name, Shale of House Cadash. Just as Caradin said. I remember now. I remember, Shale. That was me.
You remember? That's wonderful.
Wonderful to remember being a soft, squishy creature of flesh. Perhaps. I will need to think on these things I have learned. Perhaps I will speak to it of them soon. For now, let us carry on as we have.
Nice. Shale approves, plus 23. Mapo on Earth shows control. Oh no, there we go. 300 years earlier. 300 years earlier. So that was in the 6th age. She had been Shale of House Cadash, warrior of King Valtor, and a volunteer who chose to dedicate her life for all time in the defense of Orzammar. Awesome. Level up. Yes. Master stealing. I love that I just really haven't even done my tactics because I can mostly control my character. Now, what do I want out of my skills? We can start looking at duelist stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to use Feign Death, to be honest with you. Dual Weapon Mastery, is a passive skill. Able to wield full-sized weapons in both hands. Stamina cost for all dual weapon talents are also reduced. Damn, so I can actually, I don't have to be daggers anymore. I'll get that for the stamina cost reduction as well. Sick. Okay, well, we've completed the quest line, and we got some great weaponry upgrades for Shale too. Weapon and armor. Nice. We are going to venture back to Orzammar. I might actually just bump into all of these locations and see if lovely Dex will find items in each of these locations, which seems like a probably good idea. And then I think there's also a codex entry that we missed because we got chapter 2 of I think it was like History of Orzammar chapter 2, so we are missing a chapter 1. I don't know where we're gonna find it, but I can try and scour the deep roads for it. Hello there. Dex appears to have found an old helmet that may have belonged to a Grey Warden or one of the Legionnaires of the Dead. Cool. Oh, it's the duty helmet, which we have a piece of armor that says when it's wielded with duty. Damn, it's found by Dex. Yeah, it's the effort armor. The griffin wings clearly mark this as a Grey Warden helm. In good light, thin ribbons of lyrium can be seen rippling through the metal. When equipped in a set with the effort armor, gloves, and boots, the character's spells or talents cost less to activate. Cool. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Oh, Dex returns with what looks like to be a 100-year-old bottle of wine. Dust still clings to it. You can find multiple items. Garbolg's Backcountry Reserve. Well, Ogren would love this, right? Likely dropped to avoid seizure by authorities or because of seizure due to drinking it. Garbolg only brewed from 874 to 892 in the Blessed Age. Killed when the vapors in his beard spontaneously ignited. Oh, that's great. Okay, stop accidentally talking to becoming the dog. Talk to the dog. Oh my god, he found so many things. A tangled ball of woolen yarn. Woolen yarn. The ends are trailing in the dust behind him. Okay, another gift. It is still slimy for having been in the Mabari's mouth. I mean, he's not a cat, but would he like a ball of yarn? Is it a gift for himself? Who knows? No. Okay. Great. I'm gonna just drop into all these places and see what I can find. We found chapter 2, I'm pretty sure, in one of these earlier spots. So I feel like chapter 1 would be maybe even in the beginning Deep Roads area, and I've missed it. Happy bark. Sad bark. I wonder if it's like, I wonder if there's actually like a chance for him to not find anything and a chance for him to find anything. But it seems like if there's something to find, it will be found, if you ask. Yeah, found multiple things in one area, so that even means I need to, that means I need to go back to areas he's found stuff before and check again. Dex runs up to you and deposits a slightly damaged cake into your waiting hands. A cake in the Deep Roads. You just found this then. Okay. I'm sure it will come in handy. Gotta make the dog happy. He found us a cake. Found cake. A soggy brown cake-like object that has probably seen better days. This was found by Dex. Flecks of dog spittle still cling to it. Yummy. Yummy. And he has not found anything. Okay. I'm so glad that you can just enter an area, ask him to find something, and then just leave. That makes it much, much easier. No depression. It's such a weird angle of just like the top down on his head, just being like, no, I've not found anything. I hang my head in shame. This is going to be the spot where I reckon the codex entry is. But, you know, that do just be a hunch. Okay, I'm going to go look and see. Because I'm looking at this, I'm going, oh, maybe it's out here. But then my brain is going, I'm pretty sure that anywhere that wasn't explored was like potentially a caved in pathway. But it might be there. I'll take a look around again.
I shall do it.
Nice. Running through previous areas is actually so funny. I found so many bodies that I actually apparently hadn't looted. Oh, and I've also got quest updated for the Drifter's Cache. The tale of the crosscut Drifters has revealed the location of an old cache. Old cache in Carradon's Cross. Nice. And then Codex updated. Which one of... It should be this last one, I assume. We found trouble, alright? Rogan's lyrium vein led right to the flank of a darkspawn horde. From the look of their kit, the spawn were a week, maybe less, from breakthrough into that blasted new highway into Orzammar, and they'd be well behind any patrols. The stone knew, and she drew her chosen with a promise of ore we could taste in our bones. If all goes well, losing this cavern will kill the darkspawn's taste for digging, and Orzammar will never know it was at risk. It will be a distant tremor, a ripple in the royal fountain. The charges are laid, we know it will work, we know the cost. The stone has shown us the way home. Nice. So 2 codex markers in one spot. The memories tell us that our kingdom once reached far beneath the mountains and that the Thaigs were almost beyond counting. Kal Sharok was the capital then, home to all the noble houses, and Orzammar was simply the home of the miner and smith castes. It was with the Tevinter Imperium that things changed. Paragon Goral moved the seat of power to Orzammar to more closely oversee the trade that began with the surface. It seemed that our people were entering a new age of prosperity. The memories hold no explanations for the coming of the Darkspawn, only questions. At first there were rumors, noises in the deep roads, a lost traveler here and there. The warrior caste sent men to patrol the road, and thought the matter settled. We did not know that while we searched for them, they were engaged in a search of their own. Sleeping deep in the stone itself was the archdemon. They found him and awakened him, and the blight began. The Darkspawn poured out of the deep roads like smoke, then, and the warrior caste struggled to hold them back. Countless Thaigs were lost in that first blight, but as ever, in the worst moments of our need, a Paragon arose. Paragon Aeducan led the defenses of Orzammar, and the Dark Horde was beaten back. The cost of victory, however, was great. Much of the deep roads were sealed to hold back the Darkspawn, cutting off Thaigs and even whole cities forever. Orzbar as a kingdom. It's crazy that Balin comes is just like such a long line of the Aedukans, which is very, very important too. Okay, so the Drifter's Cache is there. Oh, nice. Another Thorn and Effort's Gloves, which means we're missing the Effort's Greaves now. Ring of the Warrior. Diamond Maul. This maul bears the mark of Smith House Uldra, forged for the guards of the Diamond Quarter. It's a shame that there's no customizations, enchantment slots. Thorn of the Dead Gods, however. 3 damage, 3 armor penetration. No simple blades. These daggers date back to the time of the First Blight. They were crafted in the Tevinter Imperium as weapons to fight against the Darkspawn Horde, and fell in battle with the mages that first wielded them. So that's 2 thorns, and we're also missing the boots. These have a luster, almost like a pearls, and have griffins enameled on the cuffs. This is gold, covered in elven script. Whatever the writing says, it's awfully wordy. It's the One Ring. That's a great little cache there. Well, now I just need to go and find. Yeah, now I just need to go and find the goddamn boots, wherever they may be. I wish that this dead Thaig Shanker was like better than the Crow Dagger. They're both kind of good in their own ways. I have no idea where I would look for these boots though. But there's clearly a section in this place that I am missing. I gave up my search after not wanting to really waste so much time just looking for boots. So we've left the deep roads and I'm selling gear, and the Rose's Thorn, one of the daggers, is actually being sold by a vendor. So the fact that I haven't actually found the things in the deep roads makes a lot of sense now, because they just do be getting sold around here. So I might check in with the other vendors. I've bought the gifts that I have here, as well as a tome of physical technique, so we can get another skill for one of our characters. And I think Morrigan's the jewelry lover, so I think we can give all of these to her, because we'll get her approval up. And I think we've got stuff that Alistair would like and appreciate. I think. I'm not sure what he actually wants. I've forgotten that, so we'll just check again.
The rightful king is on the...
You have Tome of the Mortal Vessel. Reader 1 or more points to spend on attributes. Yoink. Shadow of the Empire. Well, excuse me. I might buy this. +2 strength, +2 dex, and +1 stamina regeneration in combat. I might buy that for my dwarf character. Yep, I'll grab that too. Ooh, Golden Symbol of Andraste. Liliana would like that. These are all cheap anyway. May as well buy them and just gift them. Because why not? Nothing rare or special in there. Oh, a codex entry from buying it, however. Sometimes you just gotta pay in-game money to get codex entries to Shadow of the Empire. The Crows of Antiva may be the most famous and most expensive of Thedas' assassins, but they are not the most active. That dubious honor belongs to the Shadows of the Emperor, the personal cadre of killers employed by the Throne of Orlais. Almost exclusively, the Shadows work against other noble families in Val Royeaux. No one knows who they are, not even the sitting Emperor, and some in the court dismiss them as only myth. The assassins have slipped into an aristocratic life, working as palace servants, ladies-in-waiting, and, on one notorious occasion, the Chamberlain himself. This armor was made for use by the shadows whenever the grand game should wander out of hand. Cool. I'm pretty sure there's a vendor in Doost Town as well. Does this guy have more work for me?
I'm holding off on any new shipments until this surface war is done.
It is not. Oh, hang on. Oh, there's people that were not here last time. We've got Javia supporters here. I think we're about to get into a fight. Let me put on my new armor that I just bought. Let's go. Which means we can give that studded leather armor to another character that needs light armor.
What do you think of that new King Balin, huh?
Just like any other noble. Wouldn't take the time to spit on the likes of us.
His woman's castless, though, or was. That Rika, remember her? Barat's favorite from way back. And word on the street is he's got no qualms about recruiting brands for his troops. During the Blight, he's going to use whatever Orzamar's got. I could get behind that.
That's good. Brands are going to actually be more than brands. Oh, I thought they were about to fight me immediately.
So you're the one who killed Jarvia. Do you know what you've done? Jarvia was no paragon, but she looked after her own. Even the nobles wouldn't cross her. If you think we're gonna let you waltz around like you own the place, you're wrong. For Jarvia, attack!
Okay, sure. Sure, buddy. Oh, imagine getting stunned and then paralyzed. Imagine. Imagine me taking out Jarvia and these fellas being like, we can take him. We can take Jarvia, one of the toughest boss fights I've ever had to do in the whole game. No, hang on. No, it's not here. Where is oh, it's this suspicious door, isn't it? Is it not? And then it has like, no, I think this is also wrong because this takes us through a whole sequence to get out. Where is that shopkeeper? Because there's a shopkeeper where we knocked down the wall from Jarvia's hideout. Is that not in Dusttown? Oh, Almar's Emporium is like right. I'm missing the door. Is it? Oh, this door.
It shall be done.
This is the guy, right? Oh no, this is a different guy. But I mean, he's still a shop. I was thinking about someone else.
You got more business for me?
Apparently. Let me see your wares.
Of course.
Of course. Oh, you've got a bunch of stuff. Why can't you have 99 of the other agents as well? Why you gotta do me like that? He's got another... Oh, he's got another crow dagger that does have 3 slots, which is pretty cool. I could buy that and give that to... I don't even really have many runes to spare. An Orlesian bow. What does Liliana have? She's got the spear thrower. Nope, hers is better. Backhands. Yes. The Effort's boots. The rampant griffin of the Grey Wardens is stamped on the inside of these well-made armored boots. So it is being sold and not found. There we go. I've got the full set. Senior Enchanter's robes. What is, what's Wynn got? Senior Enchanter's robes. Yep. I don't know if there's anything to be gotten as a reward from getting all of the remarkable stones or anything, but might leave that. What's Morrigan got? Robes of Possession. Yeah, I'll keep that. Cool. I have the full effort set now. The effort chest piece is in my party chest. Interestingly enough, though, I don't think we got any codex entries from that. Not sure, but that's good. I think we can leave Orzammar now. With that, I'm a piece out of Orzammar. I think we're done. Let's give... Maybe I should just give gifts back at the party camp when I get around to that. I'll stockpile some gifts, make everybody love me. Especially if we've already, you know, exhausted our current dialogue and have done the quests for our friends.
I find it very odd.
It meaning me. Am I in it now too? I feel honored.
For one who professes to be a warrior, I find it remarkably weak-willed and indecisive.
Thank you?
It also likes to hide its many weaknesses behind a veil of jocularity.
For a statue, you know a lot of big words.
Is there a reason it enjoys following others so much? Especially when it is in a position to lead.
Have you ever been responsible for someone else's life? Or a lot of other lives? Or an entire nation?
Of course not.
Then shut up.
I will remember this moment when the birds come.
Veil of jocularity. What a comment. What a comment that was. A very unexpected one. Cool. Cool. Great. Good stuff. Orzammar excursion complete. Would anyone like some gifts? Let's save before we do any of this. Just in case. I believe, Liliana, would you like this? Oh, actually, hang on. I think you'd like this. Liliana, what have you got? Yeah, you can have this. Nice. And then you can have... That is the same. Never mind. You can have the golden symbol of Andraste.
Oh, how dear of you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're already at 92. Thank you so much. I don't even need to gift anything to you. You're fine. Alright, you're a jewelry. So...
Interesting.
No, you're not. That was only... The gold earrings was only +1. Hang on. Who likes earrings? Anyone? Anyone like earrings, or are they just shitty gifts? Morrigan, where are you? Let's just click on every single one and Morrigan will just be the last one. Simple fondness for jewelry and is very particular about her appearance. Massive cunning. Okay, Morrigan didn't care for earrings. I would classify that as jewelry, but sure, can't win them all, I guess. Well, this is jewelry. This is also jewelry. And if you're fond about your appearance, this is a mirror. Polished glass in a gold frame. Golden deer and sparrows frolic together in a charming scene on the back of the mirror. Okay, do you like the gold amulet?
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Okay, you liked it enough. What about the gemmed bracelet?
Interesting.
No. Okay, I'm going to reload my save then. And on the gifts that are only giving +1, and I'll just not give them to you. I will just not give them to you. How about that? And we'll do that another time.
Oh, how dear.
Oh, when you go off their screen, the dialogue stops. That's funny. Okay. So you liked the gold amulet. Actually, hold on. Every time I change, I'm just going to do this. Gold amulet was fine.
A fine gift.
Mirror.
What have you there? A mirror? It is just the same as the mirror which Flemeth smashed on the ground so long ago. It is incredible that you found one so like it. I am uncertain what to say. You must wish something in return, certainly.
I just bought it because I was gift shopping and I didn't even think you would like it, but actually,
Yes, Morrigan, I bought it specifically for you. It's simply a present for a beautiful woman.
I have never received a gift. Not one that did not also come with a price attached. but I would be a fool not to accept such a gesture with grace. Your gift is most thoughtful. Thank you.
Oh, cute. Major magic. Plus 20! Goddamn! That's a mirror. I just was like, I'm gonna get this mirror because it's a gift. I specifically bought it for Morrigan because I was like, she would love this mirror. Of course. I know Morrigan better than anyone else. Oh, she adores me. Hang on a minute. Liliana's at like 92 and she's only warm. Okay, you have to specifically like do some dialogue. So it's not just, this is cool because it's like they can be warm towards you and you can be plus on the approval meter and just be warm to you, and that's fine. But depending on how you've actually interacted with them as well, it seems that it can also change to adoration. I mean, I'll take it. If Morrigan adores me, I've sincerely beaten the Dragon Age Origins and we can roll credits. Gameplay's over. Thanks so much for watching this playthrough, everyone. Morrigan adores me. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in life. I have won the approval of a goth witch. And we just, look how good we look together. You know, just a short king and her goth witch. Love you, Morrigan.
'Tis cold in my tent, all alone.
No fucking way. I'm about to get Black Widowed. I know about the stories of your mother. Okay. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. I worked hard for this. I guess, well, I have to say, well, we can't have that.
So you shall come to my tent? But whatever shall we do in that tiny little space together while we wait for it to warm?
I am but a humble dwarf. See, Morrigan, here's the thing, right? We went to the Pearl, and Morrigan was like, damn, I thought Mapo the dwarf was into me and no one else, but he's gone and engaged in frivolous activities. I must let him know how I feel properly when we next get to the party camp. It worked. I'm sure I'll think of something, or I'll leave that up to you. Who's taking the lead here? Who's the dominant one? Who's topping in this scenario, Morrigan? I'm sure I'll think of something.
Good. Then let us waste no more time with foolish talk.
Oh, there's an actual scene! I thought it was just gonna fade to black. No way! Dude. There's an actual scene. I shouldn't be surprised. Thank you, BioWare. Very cool. My deadpan expression. Oh my god. Let's go. Everyone just over there in the distance, just watching.
I see the stories they tell of Grey Warden endurance are not exaggerated.
It's not a BioWare playthrough unless I get to the episode where I bang my companion. Let's go. Ah, we did it. There's no privacy in that tent, my guy. There's no privacy there. You could see the rest of the camp. Like, everyone in the camp was just like, oh, that's happening. Oh, man. I would like to imagine that Bowden moved his, like, he noticed, and Bowden went and picked up his little inventory cart, and he was like, this man has given me so much, I'm going to give him a little privacy and block the view of everybody at camp. I can't believe what I've just seen. All it takes is giving a girl a golden mirror. That's it. So, the stories they tell of Grey Warden endurance are not exaggerated. Just the scene of, like, her being on top and my dwarf character just, like, just a deadpan expression. Oh, that's so good, dude. Oh, there are stories.
Indeed there are. The unanswered question, of course, is whether the endurance exists because of the taint within you, or because the Grey Wardens are by nature so very healthy. I enjoy the thought that 'tis a little of both. Natural prowess, driven by a darker side.
Now we get to the part where you kill me, right? God damn. I'm not so speechless, but speechless all the same. This was the most unexpected turn this episode ever took. I'm like, guys, we're just gonna go to Ozmar, we're gonna do some stuff, I'm gonna just finish off some tasks. Oh, I'll just buy some gifts while I'm here. If only I knew the butterfly effect of this action will have positive consequences. So now I need to be the dwarf that goes, so what are we? Will I ever see you again? Are you gonna call me? Will I call you? Am I sleeping in my own tent tonight? Marriage? So what now?
That is entirely up to you. Simply know that I have no designs on your independence. I wish only to do what I desire, and if that coincides with what you desire, then so be it. And should you decide not to continue our misadventure, then so be it. Very simple, is it not?
I am but a humble dwarf. You know what is my hilarious part about this is my dwarf is so polite. He has stood there with his hands behind his back going, ah, yes. Good. Good. That's the face of a dwarf that just got laid by the stone. I've had my stones played with. And what, well, look, literally the only option here that I can do that is about continuing this is the second one. And what about love? Does that enter the picture? Can a dwarf love a goth witch, and can a goth witch love a dwarf in return?
Oh, now you ruin the mood by speaking profanities. Silly man. Come then, let us be off before the others begin to stare.
Witch gone wild. I knew that was going to ruin the mood, but the other ones were just literally just like, all right, this will never happen again. I think maybe I should have gone with the last one, which maybe I can live with that. But that felt tough. I was like a rock and a hard place. I'm like, fuck. And it's so funny because I just feel like it's perfect for my dwarf. He just seems like he's been taken completely aback by this. He's like, oh, yes, that golden mirror. I definitely intended to do this. Gets laid, and then he's like, what are we? And I love you. Morrigan, I love you.
I have something for you.
Oh, ooh. Is it bigger than a bread box? That sounds a little vague. And what do you mean? It sounds a little vague.
'Tis a ring. Now, before you get any foolish notions, let me explain. Flemeth once gave me the ring because it allowed her to find me no matter where I went, in case I was ever captured by hunters. I disabled its power as soon as we left the wilds. Recently, however, I thought to change it. Now, I will be able to find whoever wears it instead.
Okay. Stalker girlfriend. Love to see it. Now who's ruining the mood? I was talking about love. You're talking about knowing my location at all times. This is great. I love it. Just check-ins are healthy. That's fine. Maybe not 24/7 location access, but that's fine. Oh, that's hilarious. Just like, so I have this ring. Don't get any funny ideas. It's not marriage. I just want to know exactly where you are at all times. So you would always know where I am. Why do you think I would want this? And it's a sweet gift. Thank you. I am curious about saying option number 1 just to ask the question.
It is not to track you, you understand. I believe you are too important to risk. If you were to get captured, however, it would be far easier to find you with this.
You like me. So you're giving it to me purely out of practicality. I'm glad to see you care, and does it do anything else? So you're giving it to me purely out of practicality?
I have no desire to see us part company so soon. Not unless we wish to, that is. Do not read more into it than is there. You have supplied me with equipment. Certainly this is not so very different, is it?
Equipment? Equipment is what I supplied you with? Is that so? I'm glad to see you care.
Now you are mocking me. Do you wish the ring or not? I am tempted to simply keep it.
Oh my god. She's so awful. Thank you for the gift.
You are welcome. Perhaps it will be useful someday.
Oh my god. We're still good though. We're still riding that approval train. Love. It is love. The game confirmed it in the menu. Let's go. She doesn't want to speak it. It is a forbidden love. It is one we cannot speak about, but we wish to speak about away from prying eyes of the camp. Alright, let me just quickly save here real quick because we've made so much progress. Morrigan's ring. This is a twisted loop of rosewood, the grain of which seems to shift and change from one moment to the next, taking on shapes reminiscent of animals and people. That is a really interesting description for a ring. So it just gives us +2 willpower. But I kind of want to... it's like... Love makes us do silly things, doesn't it? Like giving up a ring that is also a key that gives us some cool stat boosts. Here, Morrigan, I bestow upon you instead the key to the city. You may have my ring, and I will have yours. Perfect.
I wish to ask a question of you.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I wish to know your opinion of love.
Well, that is a heavy question. At least have sex with me first. This came out of nowhere? Did it come out of nowhere? I'm not sure. I was laying some pipe last night, and apparently this came out of nowhere. My opinion?
You and I have been intimate, for one. We have been close for some time now. You are impressive in many ways.
Thank you.
You even protected me from Flemeth without hope of reward.
I did.
I feel anxious when I look upon you. I dislike this sense of dependency. 'Tis a weakness I abhor. If this is love, I wish to ascertain that you do not feel the same.
Ooh, interesting. So she feels anxious and she doesn't like dependency because she's straight up just like not used to it, and it totally makes sense from her upbringing, her perspectives on everything and dependency on people. She's a very independent person and she doesn't like it. She's like, this is a weakness I abhor. If it's love, I wish to also ascertain that you do not feel the same. Honestly, talking with Morrigan feels like a goddamn like maze. Are you saying that you love me? And if I do love you, no, I certainly don't love you. If that's how you feel, then we should stop. And if I do love you, Morrigan?
Then we are both fools, and we need to do something immediately.
Marriage?
I have allowed myself to become too close. This is a weakness for us both.
Damn. You're insane. This is ridiculous. Are we getting into a fight? Are we getting into a post-sex fight, and then that will lead to make-up sex? I don't understand. I don't understand. Then let's end this right here and now. Sounds like terrible. You're just being cowardly. Also terrible. You're insane. Also a terrible thing to say. Love is not a weakness. Because I wear my heart on my sleeve, baby. I'm a hopeless romantic, and that comes through in my dwarven beauty.
You are not listening to me. Do not be such a fool. This is for your own good. I am not like other women. I am not worth your distraction, and you are not worth mine.
Oh, classic. Classic Morrigan. She's like, you know what? I don't wish to do this anymore. We're over. Our relationship is done. You are worth my distraction. I'm gonna keep putting my thumb on it.
You are impossible. Have it your way, but I will tell you truly now. You will regret it in the end.
That is my favorite way for a relationship to start. It's just like, you're gonna regret this. That's how I love, like, just my relationship starting, is, we shouldn't do this, and, I'm going to regret it. Yeah. Look, I've had relationships start in worse ways.
Your desire?
You? Oh, hang on a sec. After that mess...
Your desire?
Damn, she says it so sexy.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. What's this? 'Tis a rather odd discussion you seem to desire, leaning in so closely.
Well, you did say, my desire. Do you object?
Not unless you stop.
Nice, I've achieved consent. Did my character just get taller? Am I stood on my tippy toes? I got a crate. I'm stood on a crate. Yes, I got taller. I stood on that. That's perfect. That's good. We're like, okay, we must we must work out this height arrangement. All right, I'm over here. Kiss me.
Your desire?
I got kissing music.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
So, care to join me in my tent?
I think not.
Oh, no. My mistake? I thought you might be interested.
Your mistake indeed. You'll have to forgive me if I do not leap at your command like a trained warhound.
Okay. Isn't that what you did to me? Oh God. Option number 4. I think the most hilarious part about this is every conversation that Morrigan and I have has the potential to just easily end in a fight, and it's because she's naturally quite hostile and defensive because of like her background, where she comes from and stuff. Like, I get it. Me and Morrigan ain't gonna work in real life. I need safety, I need security. I'm a tender human being. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and Morrigan and I are not real life compatible, which is why I'm making it happen in a fantasy video game, because I want it to be a reality. If only it would work. Just wildly incompatible people, and it happens. And I've entered relationships numerous times of realizing it's like, actually we are wildly compatible. We'll regret this, but it's a learning experience. You learn and you grow in every relationship you have. I don't expect you to leap at my command.
I do not wish to discuss it. Leave me be.
Okay. Something happened in the 30 seconds since we last had sex.
Your desire?
Oh, I feel like I didn't get any disapproval.
So, full of questions, are you?
Never mind. Okay. Let me try again.
Your desire?
Dwarf horny? Tent?
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Alright, I want to see if there's a reason why she has declined. She did say she didn't want to talk about it, and the best way to get someone to talk about it when they don't want to talk about it is to ask them again.
I said no. Leave me be if that is your only interest.
Yeah, I thought so. I wanted to see how it would go. I like that it continues. I do like that it continues. I would also like to extend a lesson of no means no. Consent is very important, and this is a good lesson to learn, everybody. You respect your goth witch's wishes, and you don't freak out. You go, it's fine. There'll be time enough for us yet. I am merely exploring dialogue options because this is a video game. All right, let me see. So, guys, nice fire. Bush boy, the moon sure does look full. I hope you didn't see my moon earlier, you know, while I was clapping cheeks, as they say.
What is your wish, Kadan?
As you wish.
I don't know. I don't know. What is Alistair like? I was going to give Alistair stuff, and then maybe Alistair will have sex with me too. I don't even know at this point. Alistair is fascinated by magic, even as his life is defined by fighting its darker manifestations, strange runestones, and figural studies of arcane creatures. Well, I've probably got some stuff. Ah, yes, the Tangled Ball of Yarn. That would be perfect for you. What have I got in my... actually, I think I sold all of my leftover gifts to Bowden to make room in my my thing. He didn't like the joining chalice. I remember that. He did not like the joining chalice, which was quite funny, actually. Well, that was certainly something that we just witnessed there. I don't really know what else to say about that. Otherwise, besides the fact that I just think it was just amazing and kind of hilarious and sexy. What would you like?
Anything I can do for you,
Alistair? Let's have a look at some gifts with that description in mind. Oh, white runestone. Perfect. And a black runestone. Perfect. All right. How would you like a white and black runestone? You do like runestones, it said.
Something on your mind?
Oh, hang on. Sorry. Oh, we can talk to him about the archdemon dream.
Something on your mind?
I had another dream about the archdemon.
Yes, me too. And I got the feeling at the end there that it saw us, was aware of us, whatever you want to call it. Could have just been my imagination, I suppose. What do you think?
I think the archdemon needs to die quickly.
Well, short of waltzing through the entire Darkspawn horde and tapping it on the nose, I'm not sure just how we're supposed to do that. But killing the archdemon is the general plan, I understand. Good to have you on board. I guess one thing is certain at least, isn't it? It's official. This is a blight.
This is a blight. Oh. Alistair.
I could get used to this, you know. Is that for me? Really? Wow. Wow.
Was that good enough? Moderate constitution? Was that good enough?
Something on your mind? Of course.
Nope. Tell me about the Grey Wardens. Such as they are. Alright, I need something else.
anything I can do for you. I'm sure you'll be pleased.
Maybe I should just get one of like the big boy presents instead. Maybe I'll buy... Oh, maybe I could just do thoughtful gift. There's only 50 of them. Complete genealogy of the kings of Ferelden. Chapter upon chapter and verse on verse, this dense tome enthusiastically details the countless branches of Ferelden's royal family. The final entry describes King Marik's ascent to the throne. Would Alistair like that? This would be for Leliana. I'm still Grey Warden hand puppet, and the Alistair doll though. These are the kind of the things that are interesting that I don't know. No, the Grey Warden hand puppet is for Alistair, apparently. Is this book for him as well? It is. Okay. I see, I know him so well. Okay, this will obviously take the approval all the way to the top. And that's fine. He's already high enough anyway. To the moon, Alistair! I wish to get to know you some more.
No, bad idea. Awful. Don't do it.
Oh, it's for Morrigan. Did I read that? Oh, I got the Alistair doll instead of the Grey Warden run. I didn't even.
Your friends are...
Just not even. Take that back. Take that back. I wish to trade it in for another action figure, please. I wish to have the other one. I got the wrong one. The Grey Warden hand puppet, please. Alistair loves hand puppets, sure.
I could get used to this, you know.
Whoa, okay, well there it is. Approval 100 and he do be friendly. This tin-helmeted puppet is painted with the blue and grey heraldry of the Grey Wardens. Alistair can play with this puppet and its accompanying toy horse. I think what's really interesting about these feast day gifts is that they become items to use after, which is quite bizarre. I don't know what this is going to do. Major constitution. Massive constitution.
Look, before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister, and that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that.
We're in this together, Alistair.
That we are. I have your back. You know that, right? Well, now that that's out of the way, ask away.
Oh, cool. We just... yeah, nice. Okay.
Ask away. Of course.
Well, I guess that was it. It was like sort of like a finale. I love you, bro. I love you too, bro. Okay. Those are the only 2 ones that I'm going to mess with today. I've had sex and I've got a best friend for life, and I think that is enough events in the party camp for now. Those were the 2 main ones that I wanted to just balls to the wall and get their approval up so I could get some more dialogue out of them. I'd say it was very much worth it. I'm now going to do some inventory management. I'm going to level up whoever needs to be leveled up with some stats. And then we're going to get the hell out of here. I think I might use this for both me, to be honest with you. I think you can only use one at a time. Tome of Technique. Now these are just activated abilities, aren't they? I just feel like if I have so many abilities, I'm probably barely going to use them. But I mean, I gotta level them up. Actually, you know, with that in mind, you know what? Maybe. Maybe there are other characters that would benefit much more than I would. Alas, I will commit. Whatever. Let's get a jeweler's skill. So focusing on proper form, a bonus to attack while the mode is active. And then, in terms of the attributes, I reckon I'll give it to Alistair. Oh, I can't because he's not in my party. Well, I'll just do that. I'll just do that later. All right, I'm going to do inventory management and then we'll proceed. So doing inventory management and actually putting weapons on the weapon rack and armor on the armor stand, I come to a realization that I already have Thorn of the Dead Gods twice. There's just different tier levels of them. So I've actually found one and then found another one of the exact weapon, apparently. So they're not as rare as I thought. Apparently, not as rare as I thought. So there you go. But I've done inventory management. I have sold some more stuff. We are going to now proceed to our next destination. A very eventful night at the party camp, indeed. Indeed, a very eventful night at the party camp. Now, with all of that being said and done, we recently did return to Ostagar. We went back to Orzammar. I believe we will be in a situation of wanting to turn in some final things at Denerim, which I think we can do when we go there for the lands meet, because I think that's going to open up some possibilities there anyway. Because there's a couple of, like, Slim is like, I have a thing for you, but we can't do anything about it yet. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Brazilian Forest 2 and a bit episodes after I said that we would. Because how about that? And I think we're going to take Zev. Kind of want to take Sten. Don't ask me why. And then I think I want to take Leliana as well. Just for like a different group.
Yes.
I have no idea how Sten will react or handle being in a place like that anyway. Literally no idea. I want to take Zev for obvious reasons. Everyone else is kind of really up for grabs. But yeah, we got a lot of Shale and Ogren in Orzammar, and we took Wynn there too. And I realized that this puts us without a mage, so I may and 3 rogues. So I may actually...
Of all the... Indeed.
I may actually swap out Liliana for my wife, you know, and I feel like that'll be what we roll with. So I've also given Sten, we've taken off DLC armor now, so I think for the most part, I don't think I have... The only DLC items I have equipped now is I think it's like accessories on my main character in the form of like a ring and a belt. But outside of that, I think we've freed ourselves from the clutches of the DLC items, because I've taken off the Blood Dragon gear for Sten and given him the effort set with duty. I think that works. And they've all got levels up to do. Now, while we are going to go to the Brazilian forest, like I said, I'm going to do a quick little off-screen wraparound with my dog and see what we can find, and then we'll head to the Brazilian outskirts.
How did a child survive that? The crater is still smoking. It's a boy. 5 fingers, 5 toes. That's all that matters to me. The Maker has answered our prayers. Let's go home, Marta, and raise the Thaig as our own.
Excuse me, what?
It shall be done.
Meteor metal ore. This hunk of rock fell from the sky. Perhaps the last remnant of another world far off in the sky. If you could find a smith with the skill to temper it? What the hell? Random family that just popped in, was like, what's up? Goodbye? That's strange. So we've got my dragon scale, which is actually in my plot item. I have my meteor metal ore, which is in here, and then I've got my drake scales, which are somewhere. They might be in my party chest. Cool. Just doing my rounds with having my dog pick stuff up, and that was just something on the road. Oh, I got a letter to someone in Highever. Dear Heather, how are you? How are father and mother? I don't know why I ask this. It was made clear so many years ago that I am no child of theirs. You are my only family now, and I thank the Maker that you had love and courage enough to keep calling me sister. I'm happy for you and overjoyed to hear of your upcoming nuptials. Count your blessings. I believe you have snagged yourself a fine lad. So young and already the owner of his own freehold. Soon you will start a family of your own. Oh, Heather, I do envy you. But perhaps I shall envy you for not much longer. We have hoped and prayed for something, anything, and now I see the prison bars begin to bend and sag. So much injustice has been done to my kind, and they cannot have dreamed that the Maker would allow it to continue. There is a change coming to the tower. I can feel it, and it both excites and terrifies me. I don't know when I shall write again, dear sister, but do not worry. If all goes well, perhaps no letters will be necessary, and you shall find me on your very doorstep. With much love, Gwynlian. Dog found us random letter that either made it to the person that wanted to receive it or not. Nobody knows. Dex just spawning into Sten's pants.
Very well.
I'm also going to go off the assumption that you could potentially find items on each and every floor of the circle tower. And if that's the case, I'll do that later. If that's the case, I'll do that later. Because it might be entirely possible that each and every room, not room, but each and every like new instance probably has some stuff. For the most part, we've kind of found nothing. He tends to just give us some coins, but we haven't found anything super exciting. Outside of that codex entry and then that random thing that just took place with the meteor ore. But I will be continuing to find things. Or getting into battle with Darkspawn. Dwarven soldiers. That's awesome. Dwarven soldiers on the surface. Oh my god. Oh, there's another ogre right there. He's just not even doing anything. Oh, the laughing. We lost a dwarven soldier. And I asked you to cast mass paralysis, but you just decided that you didn't want to, so that's fine.
Another battle, I see.
Orzammar has heard your call. We march for you, Warden.
That's so cool.
Orzammar has heard your call. We march for you, Warden.
I shall do it.
I shall do it.
Nice. Stumbling upon dwarves fighting the Darkspawn. Okay, time to go to the Brazilian outskirts. Finally. And we never accidentally went here before and triggered any story. No, sir. We did for a little bit. So just a reminder is this is our first proper time actually going to visit this place, but we did go, oh, I'm going to go here. And then I was like, oh, of course, this is the Elvish Treaty area. So we backed the hell out and we decided to not do anything. I didn't even touch or interact with anything. So outside of the opening cutscene of us meeting and going, please take me to your leader, that's all we've done. Just as a reminder from earlier in the a reminder from earlier in the playthrough is that is all we've done so far. Sten getting like low-key a bit wrecked actually. He is the target. He is the target of all of those, and that'll do it. I should have put them all to sleep, shouldn't I? Sleepy time. There we go. Okay, one at a time, everybody. Never mind, they woke up. Nice, those bandits were pretty powerful, actually. I have no idea how much potential pain and suffering I may potentially go through with the Brazilian forest without an actual healer. It's just the part of me that's trying to be like, could we do it without Win, you know? We will see. If not, I'll just change it around. But I think this is a good party. I feel like it's an interesting party. But it could also be a good one. Okay.
Think of it, Zevran. You may have stumbled into a most delightful possibility for your future.
Oh, are you dispensing professional advice now?
It simply occurs to me that if, say, Alistair were to become King of Ferelden, he may have need of someone of your talents.
From what I know of the fellow, it seems there would be a fair difference between what he needed and what he cared to make use of.
If Alistair becomes king, it would certainly not be through any brilliance on his part. Whoever puts him there, now there's the one who will need you.
Now that's an interesting thought. You've such a devious mind, my dear. Why have we not made love as of yet?
For what purpose? I would sooner stab you in the face than let you touch me, elf.
And somehow that makes the idea even more intriguing.
Zev, I respect you for that. But stay away from my wife.
Anathara, Grey Warden. So you're the Grey Warden who is supposed to save us? I never thought an outsider would ever do anything for us.
I trust there are no hard feelings about my questioning of you when you arrived. We Dalish must protect ourselves from trouble at all times.
Okay. Do others truly trouble you so much?
These days, very little to tell the truth, for we've established a fearsome reputation amongst the Shemlin. We must still be vigilant, however. Not that I would expect an outsider to understand, but there you have it. We do what we must. You might have just told me you were a Grey Warden and saved me the grief, though I suppose I can hardly blame your caution. But I wish you good fortune with your task. Dareth Shiral. Be careful in the camp. We are not used to outsiders walking amongst us, remember.
Okay. A lovely greeting with her when we first arrived. So this is our final treaty, and then once we've obtained every treaty, it'll be time to head back to Arleman and do the Landsmeet. Valaslin, blood writing, elven tattoo art. When the children of our people come of age, they earn the privilege of wearing the Valaslin, the blood writing. It sets us apart from the Shemlin and from the elves who have thrown their lot in with them. It reminds us that we will never again surrender our traditions and beliefs. The ritual deserves great reverence. The one who is to gain the Valaslin must prepare by meditating on the gods and the ways of our people, and by purifying the body and the skin. When the time comes, the keeper of the clan applies the blood writing. This is done in complete silence. Cries of pain are signs of weakness. If one cannot tolerate the pain of the blood writing, they are not ready to undertake the responsibilities of an adult. The keeper may stop the ritual if they decide that the one gaining the Valaslin is not ready. There's no shame in this, for all children are different, and our ancestors once took centuries to come of age. As told by Gesharl, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Cool. Athras.
Andera Natishan, stranger. I am Athras. I hope the others have not been too harsh in their treatment of you.
They've been a bit suspicious.
It is not our intention to insult a Grey Warden. We are simply wrapped up in the plight of our hunters. It is easy to forget simple niceties at such a time. I understand you will search for the wolves in the Brazilian forest. I would join you, but Zathrian has forbidden me.
Oh, yes. Right. So we're doing werewolves, right? Magical werewolf stuff. Correct? You don't seem very happy about that.
None of us are happy about this situation, and I least of all. But I shouldn't speak too much about this, especially with an outsider. I am sure you have little interest in my problems.
No, I wish. Please, I'd like to hear about it.
It's odd to talk so freely with a stranger, but perhaps you can help me. My wife Denilah and I both fought the werewolves in the ambush. She was injured so gravely, the curse spread rapidly in her. Zathrian fought hard to ease her pain, but there was little he could do. And though he says that Denilah is dead, he will not let me see her body. I am beginning to believe she became a werewolf, and that it is being kept from me so I do not go chasing after her.
I would not allow any to keep me from my goal.
Going out there could cause another attack, and I wish no harm upon my clan.
This I understand. To hold the group over the individual is worthy. An unexpected trait in your kind.
If I could just know if Denilah is alive, or what happened to her, then I could be at peace.
I will seek her out in the forest. Or perhaps I could convince Zathrian to tell the truth. Okay. Oh, this is interesting, actually.
No. It would be very rude to accuse the Keeper of lying. I know he means well.
True.
I just need to know. One way or another. If you were in the forest, perhaps you might come across her. Alive or dead. Any news would be better than none. And in return, I would be happy to gift you an amulet made by our craftsman. It may fetch you some coin in the human lands.
God, I love the dialogue in this game because it's so good that like there are moments where I'll get caught being like, video game brain, and I go, oh, I'll do this for an option in the thing. But the way that the characters respond is unexpected when I have that sort of mentality, because they respond so naturally where it's like, oh, I could just do this. And you'd be like, ah, could you do that for me? You would just expect it to go that way. And it's really great where a lot of these characters and how they interact with one another is just above and beyond that. It's much more realistic when it's like, no, actually don't do that. That's awful. That wouldn't work well because of this. It would be terrible to accuse him of lying. I like how in depth the dialogue is in this game specifically. It continues to impress me, and it's interesting to come from BioWare games that I've played that have come out after this one, like specifically sort of like the Mass Effect series in particular, because Knights of the Old Republic was before this. But yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Dragon Age Origins are the only ones to really blow me away with how the dialogue is structured. And I think the reason being is because of how it's put together this way with the dialogue options, whereas Mass Effect is much more the Paragon, Renegade, information, and the generic good, neutral, bad response. And you are always the game kind of pushes you to be Paragon or Renegade, unless you are actively trying not to. But what I really, really enjoy about Knights of the Old Republic and Dragon Age specifically is just the way that this is laid out is much, much better to me. I really enjoy it. But I'll see what I can do.
You are most kind.
I should go.
Please, should you come across my wife, return and tell me.
Lost to the curse. God of the Craft. June, God of the Craft. A Tale of Goddess of the Craft. Okay. We have to... we're probably going to have to strap in for a bunch of new lore and codex entries in a brand new location with a new new culture. We dedicate all our crafts to June, for it is he who taught the people to bend the branches of trees to make our bows and to fashion coverings of furs and ironbark. Without June, would we have the Aravel or the harnesses for our Hala? When the people were young, we wandered the forests without purpose. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt, for we had no bows. We wore nothing, for we had no knowledge of spinning or needlecraft. We shivered in the cold nights. We went hungry through the winters, and when all the world was covered in ice and snow. Then Silays the Hearthkeeper came and gave us fire and taught us how to feed it with wood. June taught us to fashion bows and arrows and knives so that we could hunt. We learned to cook the flesh of the creatures we hunted over Silace's fire, and we learned to clothe ourselves in the furs and skins, and the people were no longer cold and hungry, as told by Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Okay, so we've got a couple of stories told by this same person. A landmark tent. Your hound seems particularly interested in this landmark. You gonna pee? You gonna get my body dominance? Nice. Well done. Dex drops a dirt-covered root of some kind at your feet. You think that it might have some sort of healing property. Okay. Sold by Newest. I don't know. Okay. Oh, and here's Zathrion.
Yes? What is it you need? Have you news?
Not yet. I have some questions for you.
Make them quick, if you please. I have much to do here. My apprentice Lanaya or Sayrel, the clan's storyteller, could provide you with answers just as easily.
Oh, I think I remember trying to ask him some questions and he just kept going, no, go ask my other people. Tell me more about this curse the hunters suffer from.
There is not much to say. It stemmed originally from Witherfang, but now any werewolf may infect someone with it.
I remember asking these questions, or a variety of them, but I don't know if I asked all of them. How did this curse start?
That is a long tale I do not have time to tell.
Yeah.
Ask Sayrel about it if you wish.
I remember him just being like, stop, because I don't have time. So did all werewolves everywhere stem from Witherfang?
No. The ones from this forest, however, do.
So if a werewolf bites me, then I will become infected.
It is possible, but not guaranteed. The only way to protect against the curse is not to be bitten.
Wonderful. How do you know if you've been infected?
You will know within a matter of days. You will begin to sweat and vomit, and most tellingly, your temper will become wild and uncontrollable. If that happens to you, you should seek out Witherfang even more swiftly. Your mission at that point will be rather personal.
Nice.
Go on then.
Can you tell me what happened to Delilah? I can't remember how this is pronounced.
She was one of the first to succumb to the curse. She is dead.
Okay. Where is her body? Can I see it?
Of course not. She is buried, as is our way. Athras is a grief-stricken man who seeks hope that does not exist. He will accept what has happened in time.
Okay. How do I find Witherfang? Do you have any advice?
Watch for the white wolves. They are his eyes and ears in the forest.
That's cool.
I must return to caring for my people. Creator's speed on your way.
Creator's speed on your way.
So, you're the Grey Warden who's supposed to save us. I never thought an outsider would ever do anything for us.
Anathara, Grey Warden.
So you are the Grey Warden who...
Oh, god damn it. I'm trying to get unique dialogue here, guys. You're all saying the same thing.
Do anything for us.
Hello. I'm not afraid of you. I'm a great Dalish warrior.
Oh, the temptation just to put my dwarven boot in your face.
You're a dwarf, aren't you? If you get no sun, shouldn't you be all white?
Am I not?
What is your wish, Kadan? As you wish.
That is my wish. Let us go.
I wish I could see Orzammar someday. Does it really have a great lake of lava?
It does. I'll kick you in it.
We greet you, Child of the Stone. I understand you are to venture into the haunted forest to save our brethren. I suspect your efforts may be in vain. An entire group of our hunters went into the forest to do as you intend, and they have not returned.
If I'm lucky, maybe I can find them.
An outsider to the rescue, but of course. What were we doing trying to solve our own problems?
You think sarcasm is going to help, do you?
Nothing will help us now. Least of all the meddling of an outsider.
You are being most unkind, Sayrel. Did you refuse our hunters' help simply because of the hand that offered it?
You shame me, Lethalan. I have allowed my bitterness to cloud my better judgment. Forgive me, Grey Warden. It is most difficult to forget the lessons the Shemlin have taught us.
It is even more difficult when you live amongst them, trust me.
Perhaps I can yet make amends. Stay while I spin a tale for our children. And then I will tell you of the forest if you desire.
Yes, I'd like that.
Come and join us then, all of you. Now, what say we tell the story of the fall of the Dales? Which of you children knows that best?
I think I do.
Yes? Then come, child. Oh, don't be frightened of the outsiders. Now, where do you suppose such a tale should begin?
When we were slaves?
Yes. Long ago, our people were slaves to an empire the Shemlin had built on the darkest magic. They took away our history and our language and left us nothing. And then that empire fell, and we were freed.
Because Andraste came with her army, and Shartan joined her.
Yes. Andraste, the Shemlin prophet, came out of the south and challenged the Tevinter Imperium. Our ancestor, Shartan, fought at her side. And when the rebellion came to an end, we were given a new homeland in the west, the Dales. We began to rebuild the culture and history we had lost in our years of slavery. We worshipped the creators and made the Dales our home. Perhaps you know what happened next, stranger. Do you know what happened to the Dales?
You were invaded by the humans.
Indeed. They resented that we would not worship their maker, and they resented our ways because they were so different from their own. The Shemlin nations grew cold towards the Dales. They called us blasphemers and tyrants, and declared war upon us. A great crusade.
Not every human felt that way, I'm sure.
And which is worse? The actions of those who believed they were right, or the inaction of those who knew they were wrong?
True.
Oh, I am certain we played a part in our downfall. We believed that the Shemlin would not revoke their prophet's gift so lightly. We were wrong. They took our lands, forcing us to abandon our gods and live as beggars in Shemlin cities.
You should have fought. You should have fought to the last of you. Better that than to submit.
Oh? Is it not the Kunari way to force others to submit? Surely that would not be your advice to my people, were they attacked by the mighty Kunari.
That would be different. The Kunari would improve your people. The humans have improved nothing.
Perhaps. Even so, many of us did fight. We fought, and we lost. But there were those of us who refused to abandon our ways. They emblazoned the symbols of the creators upon their flesh, and vowed to keep their ancient lore alive.
That's us. That's the Dalish.
Indeed, child. We chose to wander, homeless, rather than be ruled by the Shemlin. And all our clans wander alone until the day we have a homeland once more.
And we bring the old ways back to our people, because they have forgotten it all.
For we are the Dalish, the keepers of the lost lore.
The walkers of the lonely path.
We are the Elvenan, and never again shall we submit. And that is the tale of the Dales, stranger. Thank you for allowing us to tell it to you.
Yeah, did give you much choice. Perhaps you'll allow me to tell a story as well. Oh.
Perhaps another time. You are the guest here, and one who may yet prove of great help to our ailing hunters. Now, as I said I would, I can tell you what I know of the Brazilian forest. Do you wish to hear it?
Yes, tell me of the forest.
Our legends say that before the Shemlin came, the Brazilian forest was a place of our ancestors that predated even our oldest homeland. The people of the Imperium came here and gave the forest its name. If they found traces of our ancestors, we cannot say. If they did, those elves were slain or enslaved. We know only that a great many battles were fought here. These trees grow upon the graves of those who fell, Shemlin and elves both.
And those battles tore the veil?
Indeed. Very wise of you. There was so much death that the veil into the beyond was torn. The Shemlin know the beyond as the Fade, the place of dreams and spirits. When the veil is torn, spirits pass into our world freely. The legends say that one great spirit possessed the wolf that became Witherfang, who passed its curse of rage onto men and created werewolves.
This Witherfang still exists today?
So Zathrian insists. He says that Witherfang does not age as the werewolves do. Witherfang is as much spirit as it is beast, and thus it is immortal. Perhaps it cannot even be slain. At the very least, it is old and powerful, much as Zathrian himself.
So there are many spirits in the forest.
The forest is said to be haunted. Spirits possess the trees, the wolves, even the bodies of the dead. They yearn for true life, you see.
There were battles in the forest?
Who can say what value the Imperium placed on this land? And how many elves died here, in slavery? Even the barbarians, who came to overthrow the Imperium, fought and died on this soil.
How many werewolves are there?
No one knows. When the Shemlin lived in these parts, the curse would spread anew to a few of them with each passing year. They would run off into the forest, never to be seen again. Eventually, all the Shemlin left. One assumes the werewolves survive by passing their curse to their offspring. They have had no new blood. Until now, that is.
Have the hunters become werewolves?
It is said that one or two have turned already, though the Keeper denies it. As for the rest, they will either die or turn, unless they are killed out of mercy. I would rather die than become a ravening, soulless beast. Wouldn't you?
That's all I need to know.
One last warning. The forest is like a thing alive. It changes as it wills, closing paths behind you and opening up new ones. Too many have become lost within, unable to find their way out. Were I you, I would endeavor not to make the forest my enemy.
Nice. Harlathan, part 1. Oh, we got some stuff. Okay, culture and history. Harlathan, part 1. Before the ages were named or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots, and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped their gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber, but this was not death, for we know they wandered the fade in dreams. In those ages, our people called all the land Elvenan, which the old language means place of our people. And at the center of the world stood the great city of Harlathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in the forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside the lush forests and ancient trees was changing. The humans first arrived from Parvolan to the north, called Shemlin or Quicklings by the ancients. The humans were pitiful creatures whose lives blinked by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's more, those elves who spent time bartering and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brash and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives and cast them down among the quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Elvenan off from the humans for fear that this quickening effect would crumble the civilization. The fall of Harlathan, as told by Gasharl, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Okay. 94. Many forget that when Holy Andraste called out to the oppressed peoples to rise up, it was the elves who answered her first. The humblest slaves of the Imperium became her vanguard, and when victory came, they were rewarded accordingly. They were given a land in what is now the south of Orlais called the Dales. A great exodus of elves undertook the journey to their new home, crossing ocean, desert, and mountain. Their city, the first elven city since the fabled Harlathan, was called Halam Sharal. A new era had begun for the elves. But the old era wasn't through with them. In their forest city, the elves turned again to worship their silent, ancient gods. They became increasingly isolationist, posting emerald knights who guarded their borders with jealousy, rebuking all efforts at trade or civilized discourse. Dark rumors spread in the lands that bordered the Dales, whispers of humans captured and sacrificed to elven gods. And then came an attack by the elves on the defenseless village of Red Crossing. The Chantry replied with the exalted march of the Dales, and the era of the Elven Kingdom came to an end. Halam Sharal was utterly destroyed, the elves driven out, scattered, left to survive on goodwill alone. From Ferelden, Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, a Chantry scholar. The Brazilian Forest. There are places in the Brazilian Forest where the veil is so thin the difference between awake and dreaming is next to nothing. In one such place, a woodshaper was born under such unfortunate stars that his mother named him Abelas, which means sorrow, and he lived up to his name. He could keep no apprentices and lost his stock of bows in mishap after mishap, until finally he had nothing. The rest of the clan began to fear that his ill luck would harm them too, and whispered among themselves of casting him out. Abelas heard them and resolved to change his luck, and so went into the forest alone to seek a suitable tree from which to make bows. At last he spied a young rowan growing beside a stream. He drew his axe, and the tree cried out in fear, begging to be spared. But Abelas said, "If I do not take your life, mine will surely end." With 2 strokes he felled the tree. From the tree he made the finest 3 bows he had ever crafted. Pleased, Abelas returned to camp and gave his bows to the hunters at once. By nightfall, however, the camp was in an uproar. The hunters had returned with braces of hairs which, when cut open, revealed only worms and sawdust. The elder says it was a sign that the hunters had robbed some spirit of its host, for it is well known that spirits do not go about the waking world on their own, but inhabit another creature's body. The elder worked a charm to banish the spirit back to the Fade, and the clan went to sleep hungry. The next day, the hunters brought back a doe, and again, the beast bled sawdust. Now the clan began to fear the spirit would starve them, and wondered what they had done to deserve it. Arbalest came forward then and told them of the rowan tree. The elder considered for a long time before declaring that they must replace what Arbalest had taken from the spirit, so he sent the hunters to dig up a rowan sapling and bring it, living, to the camp. There the elder ordered the sapling planted and appealed to the spirit for forgiveness. There was a terrible sound then, as if the whole forest were crying out in protest. Darkness fell upon the camp, though it was just past midday. When the darkness passed, a rowan grove, every tree bearing the frozen face of a terrified elf, stood where the camp had been. From then on, it was forbidden in every clan to cut living trees in the Brazilian forest. The spirits know nothing of forgiveness. That is such a great tale. The Rowan Grove, a Dalish tale from Ferelden, Folklore and History. That is such a cool story. And kind of horrifying. Arlathan Part 2 would have been a good one to read after Part 1, do you think? I should have thought about that. You ask what happened to Arlathan? Sadly, we do not know. Even those of us who keep the ancient lore have no record of what truly happened. What we have are accounts of the days before the fall, and a fable of the whims of the gods. The human world was changing even as the elves slept. Clans and tribes gave way to a powerful empire called Tevinter, which, and for what reason we do not know, moved to conquer Elvenhaven. Elvenan, not Elfhaven, Elvenan. When they breached the great city of Arlathan, our people, fearful of disease and loss of immortality, chose to flee rather than fight. With magic, demons, and even dragons at their behest, the Tevinter Imperium marched easily through Arlathan, destroying homes and galleries and amphitheaters that had stood for ages. Our people were corralled as slaves, and human contact quickened their veins until every captured elf turned mortal. The elves called to their ancient gods, but there was no answer. As to why the gods didn't answer, our people left only a legend. They say that Fenharal, the Dread Wolf and Lord of Tricksters, approached the ancient gods of good and evil and proposed a truce. The gods of good would remove themselves to heaven, and the lords of evil would exile themselves to the abyss, neither group ever again to enter the other's lands. But the gods did not know that Fenharal had planned to betray them, and by the time they realized the Dreadwolf's treachery, they were sealed in their respective realms, never again to interact with the mortal world. It is a fable, to be sure, but those elves who traveled beyond claim that Fenharal still roams the realm of dreams, or the world of dreams rather, keeping watch over the gods lest they escape from their prisons. Whatever the case, Arlathan had fallen to the very humans our people had once considered mere pests. It is said that the Tevinter Magisters had used their great destructive power to force the very ground to swallow Arlathan whole, destroying eons of collected knowledge, culture, and art. The whole of elven lore left only to memory. The fall of Arlathan. Okay. That's crazy. The Dalish Elves. I took the road north from Val Royeaux toward Navarra with a merchant caravan. A scant 2 days past the Orlesian border, we were beset by bandits. They struck without warning from the cover of the trees, hammering our wagons with arrows, killing most of the caravan guards instantly. The few who survived the arrow storm drew their blades and charged into the trees after our attackers. We heard screams muffled by the forest, and then nothing more of those men. After a long silence, the bandits appeared. Elves covered in tattoos and dressed in hides. They looted all the supplies and valuables they could carry from the merchants and disappeared back into the trees. These, I was informed later, were the Dalish, the wild elves who lurk in the wilderness on the fringes of settled lands, preying upon travelers and isolated farmers. These wild elves have reverted to the worship of their false gods and are rumored to practice their own form of magic, rejecting all human society. Brother Genetivi gave us this one. Nice. That was a great little collection. Great little collection of codex entries there, wasn't it?
Is there something you need?
You have a quest marker upon your head.
We know only what Zathrian has told us over the years. I never saw one myself until the attack.
If they are so mindless, how did they ambush you?
Some of us have wondered. The Keeper says they are simply cunning, that any beast can lie in wait. But this seemed more than that.
It was planned. These are no simple beasts.
Then the real question is why the Keeper would insist that it is not so.
How does one fight them?
The hunters say they have strength and speed far beyond what's ordinary, and are as tough as such beasts come. Like wolves, they hunt in packs so as to combine their strength. But in the end, a blade kills them as surely as it does any other. What you need to fear is their bite. If you are infected, you are done. Though not right away, and not all at once.
If they are so mindless, how did they ambush you? Sorry, I forgot to pursue the top option is why would he lie?
I do not believe he would. But even the wisest of men do not always see the truth in front of them, nor do they always wish to. The hunters say they have, like wolves, what you need to fear is their bite.
Do they have any strange abilities?
They can shapeshift into wolves, allowing them to hide amidst the true wolves.
Is there any way to prevent being afflicted by their curse?
Other than not to get bitten? Not that I know of.
Just don't get bit.
Of course. You wish something else? Dareth Shirol.
Nice. Codex updated. Codex. Actually, it's probably still there from before the dialogue, right? Yeah, apparently, this guy. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for now. We'll speak to Kamen.
Hello?
Why are you cringing? Speak up. There's no need to be afraid of me.
Of course. I'm very sorry. It's just that we don't get many visitors. Like you, I mean. Of your kind.
You never seen a dwarf before?
Never. You're so much bigger than I... Oh, I didn't mean... Oh, dear. I should start over. I am Kamen, a hunter apprentice. Though I wish I could become a real hunter.
So be one and stop wishing for it.
Never mind. Just go away and leave me alone.
Too frilly.
Too frilly.
I told you to leave me alone.
Tell me what your problem is.
I shouldn't be talking about this to an outsider. You wouldn't understand.
Intimidate? Try me, I might surprise you.
I suppose there's no harm in it. It's not like you can help me.
Are all these bears such cringing, ineffectual creatures?
I've been an apprentice for too long. To become a true hunter, I must bring back the pelt of a beast I killed myself. A boar or a wolf or something. I wanted to hunt in the forest, but we're forbidden to enter because of the attack. But the real problem is Gaina.
Oh. I really like that transition. And this, I've pointed this out before. Something I really like about Dragon Age Origins is it doesn't have the two characters just standing there with the camera panning between them for the whole dialogue thing. It's very sort of alive, like characters move around, you'll have your whole group with you. Stuff like this will happen where your character, he'll be in the middle of talking to you and he'll walk away and I'm like, sorry mate, can't hear you anymore. You've walked all the way over there. You're drifting off in the nice pretty redhead elf over there. But I really love that it does this. It's really neat. Just feels so much more alive. Who's Gaina?
She's my heart's desire. I have asked for her hand, but she cruelly refuses it. She will not bond with an apprentice, she says, and calls me a child. I am no child.
Based.
If I was a hunter, I could prove it, but I cannot hunt, and Gaina will never bond with me. I feel so helpless. I shouldn't have brought it up. Just leave me to my misery.
Bro, you want to win her heart? Go hunt the animal. He's like, oh, I cannot. She is so cruel to me. Come on, mate.
You've got to grow some stones, lad. I'll teach you a thing down in Orzammar. There must be some way to solve your problem, like go out into the forest and kill yourself a wolf.
You think I haven't thought about this? There's nothing I can do.
I'm not doing this. Come on, mate. I'm not doing your job for you. Why not go into the forest anyway?
But the Keeper said, no, I just can't. What if I encountered a werewolf? I couldn't defeat one of those on my own.
Why not come with me then?
The Keeper would know right away if I left camp. Masiranis for the offer, however. That's very kind of you.
I guess this woman's heart is not that important to you then. Have you tried wooing her?
Wooing? I don't understand.
This man has got this child. I agree with Gainer. This child has got a lot of growing to do. Romance her. Show her you love her.
I've serenaded her, and we've talked many times under the moon. But that doesn't matter if I'm still an apprentice. Not to her.
I suppose it would be too much to ask if you've bedded her. By the way, I bedded someone last night. I'm a dwarf. I'm but a humble dwarf. Why do you bother?
Because I love her. I really do. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Oh, do you think dwarves are incapable of love then? I don't want to help this guy at this point. I'm just like, this guy can do it yourself, buddy. Let's forget I mentioned anything.
Yes, that's probably for the best.
Yeah? Camen's lament. Come on, man. He's in love with Gainer, but she won't agree to a bonding until Camen has completed his hunt. He needs to hunt and kill a beast of the forest and bring back its pelt. I love that I didn't even accept the quest, but I have it anyway. I just can't even take a sympathetic side to this, and I usually do. I'm just like, come on, mate. Because like at this point, I'll kill a beast and I'll claim Gainer for myself. I'll be like, I'm the one that killed it. It's like, why would you want someone to fall in love with you when you're a liar? You can't even like honestly earn her love. Andril, goddess of the hunt, hear me, sons and daughters of the people. I am sister of the moon, mother of hares, lady of the hunt, Andril. Remember my teachings, remember the Vir Tanadal, the way of 3 trees that I have given you. Virasan, the way of the arrow, be swift and silent, strike true, do not waver, and let not your prey suffer, that is my way. Vir Borasan, the way of the bow. As the sapling bends, so must you, in yielding, find resilience, in pliancy, find strength, that is my way. Vir Adalan, the way of the wood, receive the gifts of the hunt with mindfulness, respect the sacrifice of my children, know that your passing shall nourish them in turn, that is my way. Remember the ways of the hunter, and I shall be with you. In the charge of Andril, goddess of the hunt. Cool. And Silace, the Hearthkeeper.
Sometimes silence is best.
Press the wrong button. Silace, the Hearthkeeper, is seen as the sister of Andril, the Huntress. While Andril loved to run with the creatures of the wild, Silace preferred to stay by her home tree, occupying herself with gentle arts and song. It is Silace who gave us fire and taught us how to use it. It is Silace who showed us how to heal with herbs and with magic, and how to ease the passage of infants into this world. And again, it is Silace who showed us how to spin the fibers of plants into thread and rope. We owe much to Silace, and that is why we sing to her when we kindle the fires and when we put them out. That is why we sprinkle our Aravels with Silas's fragrant tree moss and ask that she protect them and all within, as told by Gasharl. I love this stuff. This is really, really good. There's so much so much nice lore and culture here that we are getting
Very well.
on the Dalish. Makes me very happy. Damisu, a blade forged by the Dalish smiths, made from metal bartered for from the human lands. Cool.
Anathara, I should get back to work before Master Varathorn skins me alive.
Master Varathorn.
What are you doing? You've warped the wood completely. Did you leave it out in the rain?
No, Master Varathorn. I think I just used too much heat.
You're not smelting ore like a Durgenlin.
This is living wood. It requires patience and delicate hands, not more heat.
My actions bring me sorrow, Master Verathorn.
And so they should. Truly the art will be lost to us forever at this rate. Throw away your dead wood and start anew, and I shall speak to our guest. Now then, please forgive my distraction, stranger. Is there something that you need?
I would like to barter with you.
I am no merchant, but let us trade. Perhaps there's something here which will be of value to you.
What you got for me, bud? I would like to stock up on your lyrium potions. Thank you. Adder's Kiss. Additional poison. Nice. You get a backpack for me? Oh, yes you do. Nice, 120 space. So glad. Okay, let's have a look. Tome of Skill and Sundry, so 1 point to spend on a skill. Nice. And Mortal Vessel, also nice, thank you. Dal Thanu, a typical Dalish hand axe. The way that these are worded, I always think that they might be like rare weapons with more of a description. The Dark Moon. There are patterns like flames carved into the arms of this spectacular bow. That's cool. The Dark Bow feels like something that I would get. The Dark Moon feels like something I would get a Codex entry for almost. We only have one Elf Flight arrow in our inventory, and we've only ever had one, so it's good to know that there's actually multiple out there. Plus 6 attack and a chance to stun is really cool. I kind of want them. Very expensive, however. Armsman's Tensioner. A relic of a particularly strict Tevinter Imperium Lord, the unforgiving binding and trace lyrium in this helm do not so much grant a benefit as inflict one. Rapid aim and plus 6 attack. That would be good for Liliana, would it not? Hell yeah, it would. A little less armor, but rapid aim and plus 6 attack. I'll buy that. And then the Dalish armor, which is pretty cool. So you've got potent health poultice recipe, eh? I'll take it. And I think for now we will let's leave it at that for now, shall we? Buy all the agents that we can find. All my other stuff is just in my chest back at the party camp.
What do you wish?
What exactly do you make here?
I'm the clan's craftsmaster. It's my responsibility to learn what I can of the ancient elven arts of shaping wood and ore. In truth, we Dalish know little of the art compared to what we once did. And even what we know has taken us many lifetimes to achieve. There is wood that, if treated properly, is as hard as steel but far lighter. It grows only in this forest. Ironbark. The keeper has forbidden us from entering the forest to collect the wood. This means I cannot make our finest crafts for years to come.
What if I found some ironbark for you?
I would be hesitant to ask it of you, but if you should come across ironbark, I suppose there would be no harm in gathering some. It is blue and very distinctive. You can only harvest the bark which has fallen off the tree from age. Now, if you find some, bring it to me, and I will craft it for you.
Done. What kind of item would you make?
I excel in making blades from the ironbark, or perhaps a breastplate. Provided there's enough wood, that is.
Okay. Very well. I'll take a look when I'm in the forest.
That would please me. So long as our hunters come first.
Cool.
Dareth Shiro, may the creators visit fortune upon you.
Rare ironbark. Eldest of the sun. Elganan, god of vengeance. Long ago, when time itself was young, the only things in existence were the sun and the land. The sun, curious about the land, bowed his head close to her body, and Elganan was born in the place where they touched. The sun and the land loved Elganan greatly, for he was beautiful and clever. As a gift to Elganan, the land brought forth great birds and beasts of sky and forest, and all manner of wonderful green things. Oh, I've lost my place. Elganon loved his mother's gifts and praised them highly, and walked amongst them often. The sun, looking down upon the fruitful land, saw the joy that Elganon took in her works, and grew jealous. Out of spite, he shone his face full upon all the creatures the earth had created, and burned them all to ashes. The land cracked and split from bitterness and pain, and cried salt tears for the loss of all she had wrought. The pool of tears cried for the land became the ocean, and the cracks in her body the first rivers and streams. Elganon was furious at what his father had done and vowed vengeance. He lifted himself into the sky and wrestled the sun, determined to defeat him. They fought for an eternity, and eventually the sun grew weak, while Elganon's rage was unabated. Eventually, Elganon threw the sun down from the sky and buried him in a deep abyss created by the land's sorrow. With the sun gone, the world was covered in shadow, and all that remained in the sky were the reminders of Elganon's battle with his father, drops of the sun's lifeblood, which twinkled and shimmered in the darkness. That is such a cool story. These Dalish tales are probably some of my favorite codex entries that I've read in the game so far. I just think that they're amazing. And again, just really great world building, as always. World building and lore just really good in this game.
Hello. I'm not afraid of you. I'm a great Dalish warrior.
Wow, you sound just like the other kid.
You are the Grey Warden who was supposed to save us? I never thought I would hear of an outsider who would ever do anything.
They all sound the same. Oh, pile of scrolls, eh? Pile of scrolls, eh? The Long Walk. When our people left Tevinter, we had nothing except the knowledge that for the first time in countless centuries, we were free. It was Shartan's dream that one day we would have our own homeland, where we could live as we chose. After the long struggle that claimed the lives of many, even Shartan himself, we were granted the Dales. And though the Dales were to the south of the land of Orlais, and a long way off from Tevinter, it mattered little. We were going home, and so we walked. We called our journey the Long Walk, for that was what it was. We walked with what little we had on our backs, some walked without shoes, for they had none. Whole families, women with infants, the old and young alike, all of them made their way across the land on foot, and if one of our people could no longer walk, we carried him, or sometimes left him behind. Many perished along the way. Some died of exhaustion, others simply gave up and fell by the wayside. A great number was set upon by human bandits, even though we had few possessions. Along the way, a growing number began to bemoan the decision to leave Tevinter. At least in Tevinter, they said, we had food and water and shelter. What do we have here? Nothing but the open sky and the prospect of the never-ending road ahead. Some turned back toward Tevinter, but most of us continued walking. And the gods rewarded those who did not waver by bringing us to the Dales. Our people called the new city Halam Sharal, the end of the journey, and for a time, it was home. Oh, this story stuff is so good. Dirthaman, Keeper of Secrets. The twins Falondin and Dirthaman are the eldest children of the Elganon, the Allfather, and Mithal, the Protector. The brothers were inseparable from the moment of their conception, known for their great love of each other. That is why we often speak of Falondin in one breath and Dirthaman the next, for they cannot bear to be apart, not even in our tales. When the world was young, the gods often walked the earth, and Falondin and Dirthaman were no exception. Both were delighted by the many wonders of our earth. They played with the animals, whispered to the trees, and bathed in the lakes and streams. Their days were filled with bliss, and they did not know sorrow. And then one day, while passing through the forest, Falondin and Dirthaman came across an old and sickly deer resting behind a tree. "Why do you sit so still, little sister?" asked Falondin. "Play with us," said Dirthaman. "Alas," spoke the deer, "I cannot. I am old, and although I wish to go to my rest, my legs can no longer carry me." Taking pity on the deer, Falondin gathered her up into his arms and carried her to the rest beyond the vale. Dirthaman tried to follow them, but the shifting grey paths beyond the vale would not let him. Separated for the first time from Falondin, Dirthaman wandered aimlessly till he came across two ravens. "You are lost, and soon you will fade," the raven named Fear said to Dirthaman. "Your brother has abandoned you, he no longer loves you," said the other, named Deceit. "I am not lost, and Falondin has not abandoned me," replied Dirthaman. He subdued the ravens and bade them carry him to Falondin. This they did, for they had been defeated and were now bound to Dirthaman's service. When Dirthaman found Falondin, he found also the deer, who once again was light on her feet, for her spirit was released from her weakened body. Both Falondin and Dirthaman rejoiced to see this. Falondin vowed that he would remain to carry all the dead to their place beyond, just as he did the deer, and Dirthaman stayed with him, for the twins cannot bear to be apart. Cool story. Cool story. We have what seems to be quite a bit more. Oh. Wait a minute. Wynn spoke to you about the first pupil she took under her wing, an elf named Aniran. Okay, so this is Wynn's regret. Oh, I need Wynn with me. That's why he's still got the quest marker above his head. Cool. What I was just about to say is there's still seemingly a lot in the outskirts area to check out.
Please leave that be. If you have need of equipment, I am sure Master Verathorn can help you.
I just wanted to do a little bit of stealing. Okay. Zathrin said that I could have what's inside here. Can I ask what's inside?
What is the point? It is none of your business, so please, leave it be. Underanitishan, Grey Warden. My name is Lanaya. I am Zathrian's first, what you might call an apprentice, perhaps. I've been studying under the Keeper all my life. I am a bit curious of the outside world. Do you mind if I ask you a question or two?
You can ask me a question or two, but you have to give me what's inside that chest. You just asked me a question right there.
What an odd thing to say. I mean about the outside world, of course.
If you like, go ahead.
I hear the human cities are very large. Thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true?
Are you saying you can't imagine such a thing?
The few towns we have visited in my time have been small. I find it hard to visualize something so large and permanent. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought.
They are used to it, just as the humans are.
Being accustomed to pain and suffering does not make it any less tragic.
I know.
It is said that one day we will have a land of our own. We Dalish gather the ancient wisdom in preparation for this. When that day comes, all elves, even those who have forgotten, will reclaim their former glory. I have one more question, though I'm not sure you can answer it. Do the humans ever regret what they did to us?
I think some of them do. Not all humans are the same.
And yet, even if some regret, they do nothing. A poet once wrote of them, before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons, they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
Yes, chest, please. Zathrian says he needs to see you right away, and that's how we'll get into the chest. What can you tell me about Zathrian?
Nothing that you could not ask Zathrian himself. He is the keeper of this clan and has been for a very long time. He is also a very good man who has lost much. The Dalish are everything to him, and he would do anything to protect them.
Lost much? What has he lost?
He lost his family. A very long time ago. I don't know the story, but I understand the circumstances were horrific.
Okay. Why are the Dalish so hostile? Why do you think?
They have reason. Since the days of Arlathan, my people have been either subjugated or homeless.
Your homeland was called, it's funny, it's really funny when me as a player has already read the lore and codex entries that we've just been given, and then as my dwarven character has to be like, huh? What does any of this mean? Is there no way to get on your clan's good side?
It requires an individual to prove he is not the outsider we have come to expect. Your own task to help our clan is certainly a step in the right direction.
Okay. What is this Arlathan you mentioned?
It was our ancestral home, long ago when the humans first came to these lands. We were free then, and immortal. We did not know how to deal with the humans, and in the end, they turned their power against us and destroyed Arlathan. Our ancestors were enslaved, and our culture lost forever.
Does Arlathan still exist?
Not to my knowledge. According to the old tales, the human mages sank Arlathan into the ground, crushing it beneath the rock.
But the elves were eventually freed, right?
Yes. After a millennium of slavery, our people were freed by Andraste, the human's prophet who spawned the Chantry.
But you don't worship the Maker.
We worship the creators, as we always have. We give thanks to Andraste for her part in our freedom, but we do not worship her or her god.
Didn't Arlathan fight back?
The Tevinter Imperium was a force to be reckoned with. It was ruled by mages with powerful blood magic. Though Arlathan fought, they lost.
Elves were immortal then?
They died, but not of an aged body as other races do. Not until the humans came. According to the legends, association with humans caused us to quicken. Our blood sped, and we began to age. So we avoided them naturally. And then we were enslaved by them for 1,000 years. And in so doing, we all were quickened permanently and our immortality destroyed. Or so the old tales say.
But you could get your lifespan back, no?
In time and with seclusion. We Dalish have lengthy lifespans, and they will get longer. Zathrian himself has lived many centuries, though that is unusual even for us.
Should we be suspicious of Zathrian? I can see why you resent humans then.
Shemlin, we call them. Quick children. I suppose it takes a certain arrogance to look upon another people as children, no? Perhaps we should be more heedful of our own role in Arlathan's loss. Even so, it was a bitter lesson to learn. One we are not grateful for.
Your homeland was called the Dales, I thought.
That was our second homeland. Our first was the great city of Arlathan. The Dales came when they were freed from enslavement. Elves everywhere journeyed hundreds and thousands of miles to the Dales, eager to start their lives anew. They called it the Long Walk. They reached the Dales and made it their own. And one day it was taken from us too, and you wonder why we are hostile. Certainly.
What does a keeper do exactly?
A keeper is, first and foremost, the leader of the clan. He decides where we go and when we shall move. He's also responsible for knowing the clan's ancient lore and passing it on to the others in the clan. Without a keeper, the clan's knowledge is lost forever, so the clan protects him like no other.
Tell me more about yourself.
I'm hardly anyone special, I assure you. If I seem different from the rest of my clan, it's only because I was born amongst humans. I came to the Dalish at a very young age, but I've always retained my curiosity about the world I came from.
How did you come to the Dalish if you were so young?
My parents were servants to a human merchant whose caravans plied the southern routes. One day, bandits killed him, and my parents both. I was the only survivor, just a young girl, and the bandits took me. I was their servant for several years.
I'm sorry, it must have been horrible.
It was. The long years of reflection have allowed me to come to terms with it, to put them in perspective. I can only imagine what would have happened had the clan not saved me from them. I owe them my life for that, and more.
You said that the Dalish rescued you from bandits?
The bandits killed a scout when the clan passed near their camp. When the clan discovered him, Zathrian came looking for his killers. He followed their tracks for almost a month, and when he finally caught up to us, he fell on the bandits like a terror. No one could stop him. I sat there, and I watched him attack them in a blur, and I reveled in every blow. When he saw me, the fury in his eyes turned to pity. He took me back to the clan, and I've been here ever since.
Didn't you have family you could have returned to?
It's possible I might have had some, maybe many. Zathrian offered to take me back, but I had no idea where I was from, and I wanted to stay with the man who rescued me. The clan is my family. Any others out there? It's best they believe that little girl died with her parents. For now, the clan is all I need. My old world could not have offered me all this, and the knowledge of a keeper as well. Perhaps one day, when I am keeper, I might inquire out of curiosity. I'm not sure what lies down that road except pain, however.
How did you become a keeper?
I am not a keeper. I am Zathrian's first. Though because I was not born into the clan, becoming his first was very difficult. We Dalish have old traditions. The clans come from the ranks of the nobility that once ruled the Dales, you see. The keepers of those old clans have the strongest and purest blood that reaches back to the days of Arlathan. I had to compete against the other candidates for first, to be better than them in everything, simply because I was not of the old blood.
Do they resent your success?
No. Zathrian told me that time would take away their prejudices, and it did. They became used to me. The clan has placed great trust in me. One day, I will lead them and be the one who secures our future.
Okay, good, thank you. And also, Zathrian says he needs to see you right away.
He did? Why would he send you to tell me such a thing?
He said he needed something for the sick.
Is he out of unguent already? I just brought him some an hour ago. Excuse me.
Yep, you are excused.
You have betrayed the trust of my clan, and no doubt stolen from us. Zathrian shall hear of this, I assure you.
But I didn't take anything.
Even if that's true, you should not have opened the chest. I warned you, didn't I? I cannot believe you took the time to befriend me. You were just lulling my suspicions, weren't you? Suppose I should not be surprised. Zathrian was right. I'm too trusting of outsiders. Go, do what you said you would, and bother me no more.
Look, she ain't wrong, right? She ain't wrong. I'm a cunning dwarf rogue, but alas, a humble dwarf. And I did intend to steal from you, 100%.
I have nothing to say to you. If you're truly here to help my clan, then please do so.
I can still steal from it. It's a songbook. A leather-bound book entitled In Euthenera. Took the book, baby. I wonder if you could get this via any other means. We suffer the consequences of our actions, baby. So there you go. Elder, your time is come. Now I am filled with sorrow. Weary eyes need resting. Heart has become grey and slow. In waking sleep is freedom. We sing, rejoice, we tell the tales, we laugh and cry. We love one more day. A traditional elven song of unknown origin.
I have nothing to say.
And
if you're truly here to help my clan, then please do so.
Nice. That's a great way to bring this episode to a close, don't you think? By betraying the trust of one of the elves. I can't defend my actions there. Like, I'm like, you were damn right. I mean, I was genuinely interested, but at the same time, I was genuinely interested what was in that chest. We will be bringing this episode of Dragon Age Origins to a close now. Thank you so much for joining me as we have entered the Brazilian outskirts finally. Next time we will continue exploring over the other side of this encampment before heading into the forest to deal with a little werewolf problem. I'll see you then.